It can be so frustrating to get to the campground and find out things aren't working like you thought they should. Whether you're a new owner or you've owned for several seasons, these things happen to all of us. And sometimes they're actually user errors and not a problem with the camper. So stay tuned to this week's episode of Tab Talk, where I'm going to share 10 common mistakes that tab owners make with their campers that are actually usually user errors and not a problem with the camper. Hi, I'm Jen Grover, and if this is your first time watching my channel, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. For those of you who have been longtime subscribers or viewers, I want to take a second to say thanks for being patient while I took a little break. We all need social media breaks, and I needed a little YouTube break, but I'm ready to go for summer of 2022. I've had a great early start to camping, and I'm in the midst of my summer camping spree right now. I'm excited to share the 10 things that new owners tend to do wrong so that you can avoid these mistakes and avoid the frustration of having your first camp out or any camp out interrupted. Sometimes people think their new onboard solar isn't working. When they open up their Victron Connect app, they see 0 watts as the solar yield from their solar panel. But what that 0 watts may mean is that your battery is already charged. When the battery is fully charged, your solar controller is smart enough to turn off and not send more power. Mistake number 2 actually happens at the power pedestal. People often plug in but forget to flip the power switches on at the pedestal. This leads them to believe that the power inside the trailer isn't working. They're technically right. The power inside your tab is not working, but that's not the problem. The problem is at the pedestal. Or, as my friend at work likes to say, it's a picnic. Problem in chair, not in computer. The next mistake is something that's more unique to the 400, and that is that users forget to remove the vent cover on their air conditioner, and they wonder why they're getting warm air blowing inside their camper and that it's not cooling off. People who own older Tab 320s, those manufactured before the 2020 model year, also will think that they have a leak in their air conditioner. That's actually not the case. If you have the older model, you simply need to make sure that your trailer is level and then drop the front ever so slightly on the driver's side. This allows your drip pan to drain. It's all a matter of gravity. You'll find that there's a drain tube in front of your tire outside on your tab on the driver's side. Another common mistake is failure to use a water pressure regulator. Oftentimes I'll see comments about people having water draining under their tab, usually under the driver's side bench. I almost always know that this is because the pressure relief valve on the Aldi's been activated because somebody forgot to use a water pressure regulator. The water pressure regulator keeps water from flowing under 50 psi throughout your tab. When unregulated water flows through the plumbing in your tab under high pressure, what can happen is the Aldi pressure relief valve kicks open and it lets water out. This is actually a proper functioning pressure relief valve. It's actually protecting your plumbing. So it's not a bad thing when it happens. You just need to make sure you use a water pressure regulator. Another common mistake is that people forget to turn on the battery switch for 12-volt power. Usually the first signs of that are that their lights and fan or water pump are not working. To turn on the switch, simply turn it in a clockwise fashion till the indicator shows that it's on. Another common mistake is usually discovered when somebody notices that the water in their shower is not draining. This is very simple. Your gray tank needs to be emptied. You'll often see new owners complain that their tab bounces around a lot and almost feels unwieldy when they drive it home from the dealer. This is also a very simple fix. Towing your tab empty is not a great experience. I recommend adding and making sure that you balance cargo properly to keep your trailer from being bouncy. You'll find it handles much better. I will even sometimes add water to the freshwater tank. All the while keeping in mind that I want to keep under the recommended tongue weight from my tow vehicle manufacturer. And speaking of tow vehicles, a common mistake is for owners to forget to read their tow vehicle manual. The tow vehicle manual provides important guidance about whether you should be using a sway bar or a weight distribution hitch. In my case, neither are required, and that's true for many tab owners. While you're at it, check the tongue of your tab to see if there are any labels providing additional guidance as well. If you've ever driven off with your tongue jack down on the trailer, you wouldn't be the first person to have to replace the tongue jack. I actually had to replace mine after driving mine home from the dealer because when I was backing it up and parking it in my yard, I left it down and drove and it bent. It's a very simple repair if you ever need to make it. Simply 3 bolts that need to be removed, slide the new jack in and replace those 3 bolts. Not a big deal at all, but remember to lift that jack so you don't have to replace it. Another mistake that people make is that they don't give their pump a chance to prime. Simply turn on the pump and let it run for a minute to get water flowing through the pipes. When the pump is pressurized, you'll actually hear it stop running. Also, make sure that you have fuses when you go camping. It's common for new owners to go camping, not have a spare fuse, and blow one. They'll even sometimes find that the dealer forgets to put a 30-amp fuse in the fuse holder by the battery. Now, if you've made any of those mistakes, don't feel stupid. There's a reason I was able to come up with a list of 10 so quickly, because I've made many, if not all of them. If this video is helpful, be sure to share it with others, hit the thumbs up button, and I'd really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.